The Lamborghini Museum. This one is located near Bologna. The other Lambo museum is the Ferruccio Lamborghini in Funo di Argelato. We're visiting the museum on Lamborghini's 60th anniversary, so beside cars there's also a lot of interesting art displayed. Coincidentally, this year marks 50th anniversary of the Lamborghini Countach. First car, the less famous wedge shape, is the Lamborghini Huracan. Huracan is powered by the V8 engine, it's got a pop-up headlights and basically everything you need from the futuristic tech of the 70s and 80s. It's a beautiful car, especially in this brown color. Imagine having that car back then. I really think this color suits it best. Next up is the wedge, the most famous Lambo, the iconic Countach. The car every kid had as a poster on the wall. It's powered by the V12 engine used on many Lamborghinis. Here it's without a wing, how they often came, as the rear wing actually added to the drag. Here in this iconic flat green color with brown leather interior, now looking at this beautiful C design with absolutely no lumbar support, my back already hurts. And yes, the classic 80s interior where almost everything is designed with a ruler. The wedge that the car is famous for, this really slim, low front nose, the car is just stunning. And of course, we've got some corresponding art. Next up, we got the SUV produced by a supercar manufacturer powered by the V12 engine. Codenamed Cheetah, the Lambo LM002. It's powered by the same V12 engine as the Countach, and this is something you would never expect in an SUV, but this is Lamborghini we're talking about. The car weighs in at massive 2.7 tons. Interior is again designed with a ruler, as everything back then. The whole car looks massive, tanky and very unusual. I gotta say, I really like the fact that they stuck a V12 in an SUV because this was probably the only time in history somebody would do that. Also, this gold color looks stunning, especially in real life. If you can, go visit the museum yourself because these videos don't do the cars justice. The museum is just stunning to look at. And almost in the exact same color is the Lamborghini Miura. Miura is a beautiful car, something completely opposite than what you would usually expect from Lamborghini, where everything is square and very sharp. Miura is probably one of the most beautiful cars ever made. It's also powered by the famous Lamborghini V12. It was the first ever mid-engined two-seater car. Now, unlike the Countach and many other supercars, the V12 in the Miura is mounted transversely. The whole car itself is just stunning, no matter which angle you look at it from. And no wonder, because it was designed by Marcello Gandini. Now, I don't know exactly why, but to me the Miura always reminded me of a lizard. Probably because of this really long hood and these eyes that it has. Eagles cassette, best to listen to in a grand tour as you're cruising on the highway. Now, not looking like a Lamborghini at a first glance, but the Espada is a V12 powered grand tour made by Lamborghini. Easily taking 4 people and all their luggage on a multi-day trip, the Espada is actually a shooting brake car way before it was cool. Sleek long design, just 2 doors and 4 exhaust pipes showing it means business. Despite its unusual look, this is a Lamborghini, of course. This Ferrari-looking car is actually a Lamborghini. The huge windows give it a slight UFO-looking appearance, but just from this angle. Of course, it's classic 60s interior with the wooden steering wheel and it looks stunning. The side profile shows this badass-looking appearance, and this is probably the car's best angle. Because when we move on to the front of the car, well, this is what Lambo put on this beautiful car. This goofy frog-looking front on this beautiful car. And yes, this is the rest of the cars on the first floor. On the upper floor there's a whole lot of other cars, but from a modern era. So let's go and check those out. Starting off with the Reventon. This is the successor to the MCI Lago. It's got the same bat wings, powered of course by the V12 engine. In this stealth-looking color, it kind of reminds me of a fighter plane. It's got these beautiful taillights, what looks to me like the sideways letter Y found on many modern Lamborghinis even today. Next to it is a very small and very special car, the Sesto Elemento. It's speculated if it's made in 10 or 20 examples, it's a very rare car nonetheless. Boasting super lightweight of just under 1000 kilograms, made nearly completely out of carbon fiber, and of course, it's not street legal. Powered by the V10 engine, just as the engine cover holes would suggest. In this color, it just looks so mean. You glance inside, the steering wheel is almost square-shaped. The front is very small, very low, and very lightweight. The side profile reveals how small this car actually is. The dashboard looks like it's missing pieces, the seats look like they're made of Velcro cushions, all for super lightweight. And the engine cover, well, it barely covers the engine. I think you would be able to add oil without even removing anything. Next up is the Veneno. It's worth $4 million. Again, powered by the 6.5 liter V12, tuned for over 700 horses, weighing around 1.5 tons. And you will see this will be a theme amongst modern Lamborghinis. Nearly all have very similar engine specs. High speed is blistering 356 km per hour, if you could even find a road to drive this fast. A lot of aero as this car needs it. Only if you see this car in person will you really appreciate the design and aero, as the pictures or this video simply can't show all the nuances of the aerodynamic design. Right next to it is the Lamborghini Centenario. Engine specs nearly the same, on paper you would think it might be the same car. It's the largest rear diffuser ever fitted to a production car. The wheels feature carbon blades for aero, and the rest of the car has other carbon aero pieces, though not as much as the Veneno. I dare to say this car almost looks tame compared to some Lamborghinis here. Also, the car doesn't just look big, it's over 4.8 meters long. A lot of modern Lamborghinis are about this size with a wheelbase of 2.7 meters. The yellow-black color combo fits the Lamborghini badge perfectly. This is the Lamborghini Sian. V12 engine, over 750 horsepower, with a bit of boost from an electric motor. If you come close and study the nooks and crannies of the car, you will see all the aero details that you'd otherwise miss. Remember the design of these taillights. Now, a car this nice and expensive, you would think it's stuck here in a museum, not seeing any action. Well, that's not really the case. These Lambos are actually driven, for real, as you can see by the debris-damaged radiator, making this car even more special in my opinion. Because it's not just a decorative piece, it's a real machine that's being used, as they should. The legendary Countach, and its successor, the Countach LPI 800-4. Powered by the same power plant as the Sian, combined power of over 800 horsepower. Also having nearly the same rear taillights, and again, seeing just as much action outside as the Sian does. Great color combo, retaining all the classic details of the original Countach. You immediately recognize its successor to it. Modernized design of the wedge, but keeping true to the original. The front wheel arches are my favorite part of this car. They're not round, they have 4 angles around the front wheels, which hide these massive carbon brakes. This is a Nissan 300ZX, and these are its headlights on a Lamborghini Diablo. No, for real, these are the same headlights. When Lamborghini transitioned from using pop-up headlights as part of the regulatory compliance for pedestrian safety, the easiest way to refresh the Diablo was to source the headlights from Nissan. This Diablo is a GT version with a V12 engine pushing 575 horses. With a roof scoop, side scoops, the wing, this car for me is one of the ultimate 90s supercars. Next to it is the MCI Lago. And of course it's orange. It has to be. Powered by a V12 engine, 650 horses, this SV version, despite being over 15 years old, goes 0 to 100 in under 3 seconds. Beside this carbon skirt piece and the rear wing, the car is unusually smooth. And as many other cars here, you have to see them in person to appreciate them. Again, go to this museum and check it out for yourself. These cars are just stunning. Next to it is the Gallardo, the small Lambo, almost affordable to an ordinary person. Powered by a V10 engine, the same one found in the Audi R8. This Squadra Corsa version is just many of different limited edition trims this car came in. I think it's one of my favorite Lamborghinis of all time. Again in orange, the true Lamborghini color is the Lamborghini Huracan. This is the successor to the Gallardo, again powered by the V10 engine, the updated version of course, the Huracan is still being produced today over 10 years after its initial release. Unlike other cars in the museum, this one doesn't look used or it's being cleaned and detailed to absolute perfection. This black forged carbon fiber looks incredible. Huracan comes in over 10 different trim levels. This is the Performante LP610-4. In another typical Lamborghini color is the Aventador V12, over 750 horsepower, you know the story. Looking from the side, there's a vent, there's a door, and it makes the Aventador. This car was used as a basis for Sian, Centenario, Veneno and other limited-run high-power Lamborghinis. This SVJ features this beautiful spoiler and aero details. Next up is the Audi R SQ8. This time powered by only a V8, but it's twin turbocharged. It needs all the help it can get to move this massive weight of 2.2 tons. It has Lamborghini front, it has Lamborghini badge, but I can't imagine it going around the corner better than a Golf GTI. And finally there's the Huracan GTO in its full Warrior track spec. Crazy aero, crazy spec. Battle scars present throughout. This car has seen some track action. And that brings us to the end of the museum tour. Go to Modena, see these cars for yourself. Nearby is the Ferrari museum, so go check that one out as well. Or watch the next video.